So, drinking dreams. Those of you who are in recovery will know exactly what I'm talking about. I say drinking because I'm a recovering alcoholic, but I guess the correct terminology would be using dreams, because anyone in recovery from substance abuse, problematic substance use, I don't know what the words are these days, will have had these dreams, And I used to have them quite a lot when I was in rehab, when I was sort of transitioning from active recovery into active addiction, into active recovery, not the other way around. I used to have them quite frequently, and it used to really give me so much anxiety. I used to wake up, sweating, just like worried. I used to have to like look around my environment and remind myself that actually I'm not there anymore and it was just a dream. Then they started to sort of, I'm not going to say get really less, but they were less frequent. So they weren't like 3 of them every night. But then when I moved out of rehab to come back to my reality, they intensified again, and then still at that time, they used to give me a lot of anxiety. I used to wake up and think, have I been drinking? Because sometimes they would be so real. I say sometimes, all the time. They were so real and so vivid that I actually believed I was in them. So I would really have to remind myself that it was just a dream, like, life's okay, life's good, you're still sober, we're good, And then they started to get less frequent. But I noticed that there were periods where they would come back quite intensely, very vivid again, very intense. And then I wouldn't have them for a while, and then they would come back, And I started to question why this was, because if they were just random dreams, they would just happen randomly. But these weren't happening randomly. They were happening in groups at a specific time, and then they wouldn't happen again. So I thought, you know what? It's time to stop being scared of these dreams and start to question why I'm having them, and why I'm having them at these specific times, why they're just not random and all over the place, And I came to the conclusion that I drank to escape my emotions. I drank to escape my reality. I drank to escape the stress that I was under, And I started to, once I realised that, I started to notice that when I was having these drinking dreams, although they weren't frequent, when they did come about, they were quite intense and frequent in that period, was that they were coming at a time or at a period where I was either stressed or something emotional happened, or I was sort of, sorry, that's the washing machine, not someone burping. At a time, when I was stressed, or, I was quite emotional, or something quite significant or intensive was going on in my life. And so what I realised was that my drinking dreams weren't actually something to be fearful of. In fact, they were just a sign. They were telling me, look, Alnie, you're stressed, you're going through an emotional time, so take extra care of yourself. But we're just here to remind you so that you become self-aware, you become aware of it. And so now when I have them, although I'm not going to say to you that I love having them, no, I don't. I hate having them. I really hate having them. I've been having so many lately, and that's because I've been doing a lot of work around addiction, not just like myself speaking, but I've been working with a lot of people in active addiction and supporting them. And it does, you have to give a part of yourself, you have to dig deep and take yourself back to that time. And I think, just doing that, and with the NSPCC, it's kind of not in a negative way, but obviously it's emotional, it can bring about stress, because I have to mentally put myself back there and feel the feelings that I felt when I was there. And that's stressful. It was chaotic, it was stressful. So they're not nice to have. And I still wake up and look around and think, it's just a dream. I'm good. We're good. I'm sober. Life's good. I best get up for work. But I just take note of them now. I don't try to sort of think, oh, it was a terrible experience, I don't know why I was having that, and sort of dismiss it. I say, okay, I'm having them. What is it that's going on in my life? And I, realise that there's stressful and emotional things that are going on in my life. And so I make plans, or I kind of put a strategy in place to, help myself manage my emotions so they don't get the better of me. It's crazy, really. It's crazy that my drinking was a form of escapism from my emotions back when I was in active addiction. And now my drinking dreams are a sign to help me be aware that I'm going through an emotional period, so that I am able to sustain my recovery. It's kind of like a paradox, and it's the same thing with the sort of, my addiction was the breaking and the making of me. It's crazy that this one thing had the potential and did break me and make me. And it's crazy that at one stage the drink was sort of destroying me, but now my drinking dreams help me to sustain my recovery. I just find that really I don't know, it's really interesting. But there we go.